Hits like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original.
Let's talk about Lidsville. So, Lidsville is the Sid and Marty Krofft classic TV show from, what was it, 1971, I believe? Yeah, 1971 to 1973. And it starred Butch Patrick as Mark, Bille Hayes as Weenie Genie, and the great Charles Nelson Reiliy as Professor Horatio Hoodoo. That's easy for you to say. First day with my new tongue. Horatio Hoodoo. And the whole plot of this story is that Mark is at a magic show, which, by the way, was filmed live at Six Flags over Texas. And the magician on stage is putting stuff in a hat and it's vanishing. And he sneaks backstage to find out what the secret is. And the hat, when he touches it, it grows into this giant hat. And he climbs up on the brim and he falls into the hat. And he falls down, deep below to Lidsville, where the entire population are these anthropomorphic hats. These hats that come alive, and the whole realm is ruled over by Horatio Hoodoo and his genie, Weenie Genie, played by Bille Hayes. Dee likes it when I say Weenie Genie.
I can't with it.
Now, here's what's...
No more peeps for you.
I don't think it's the peeps. Now, here's the thing about this.
No, you're killing me, John. You're killing me. Oh, God.
Weenie Genie.
It's not just that. Keep it together, Dee. I can't.
Yeah, this is the last time Dee's having alcohol on the show.
Sorry. It's not my fault.
So all these hats are alive. And Dee, you said that Witchy Poo from HR Pufnstuf freaked you out.
Yeah. Yes.
The idea of living hats coming to life, and like, I don't know, no. As somebody who wears hats all the time, this freaks me out a little bit. And
I could see that freaking hat growing in the middle of the floor was kind of like, what is happening?
Well, so here's what's funny about this is this show, I have to admit something. I don't remember watching an episode of Lidsville as a kid. I don't remember. I remember seeing the intro. I remember seeing Mark get up on the hat and fall in. And I remember watching the opening credits with him falling, and seeing the things as he falls through the hats. I remember the genie, but I don't remember watching this show at all. But really? Here's what I do remember. I was so captivated by the idea of the magic hat that, and I remember this distinctly, that I watched that opening sequence and I had a bowl. My mom came in and she said she saw that it was about magic, and she said, "Oh, do you want some tricks?" And I thought she said meant magic tricks. I'm like, "Yes, I do." But she brought me a bowl of tricks cereal.
Silly rabbit.
That's
no, I heard what you said.
Not Twix, Trix cereal.
That's
So,
not what you did.
so I remember eating Trix cereal and seeing the magic hat and the magic show at the beginning of this, but that's all I remember of this show until this week watching it. And if you guys thought HR Pufnstuf was trippy,
The theme song for this show didn't really even make sense to me.
I don't even
know.
remember the theme song. HR Pufnstuf, I can still sing 40 years later. HR Pufnstuf, who's your friend when things get rough? Lidsville, I don't remember. And here's what's
That's
so funny.
because it's catchy in its tune, but the words just don't make sense.
You know what I like about these shows from this time is
What?
that the theme song gives you like a short synopsis of this show. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm kind of in La La Land right now. But
You're in Lidsville.
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
She went down the hat.
I went down the hat.
Hatch.
So
It went down the hatch.
oh, okay, I got it. Okay. So anyway, it gives you like a short synopsis of the show, and like you kind of know what's going on whenever it comes on.
It gives it all away,
It-
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it tells you what the story is going to be about. And I do kind of like that. Now, D, here's something funny you may not realize. Weenie Genie
Genie.
is played by Bille Hayes, who was the same actress who played Witchy Poo
Why?
on
Why?
HR Pufnstuf.
Oh,
Why?
wow.
And she did double duty on Lidsville because Witchy Poo made a cameo appearance and did this whole musical song and dance number with Horatio Hoodoo. And I love this. Bille Hayes and Charles Nelson Reiliy totally stole the show on this thing. You know, people remember Butch Patrick from playing Eddie Munster, and they remember that he was on this show. But really, when people talk about this show, they talk about Jeannie Weenie, Bille Hayes, and Horatio Hoodoo, Charles Nelson Reiliy, and their character acting was phenomenal. They really did make this show. So,
I do have to hand it to the costume department for those shows, though. Like, it definitely, like, if as a cosplayer, it's like, oh, that's a neat outfit.
I do love how everything was like a real set, that they built real sets, and you know, I love that.
well, see, because D, in 1971,
I know
there was
this,
no such thing as CGI.
I know this, John, but I actually love. That's probably the reason why I love Wizard of Oz. I love the actual sets that they build real sets.
Now, you brought up something in our text discussion, our chat this week, that this show to you seemed very familiar or inspired by Wizard of Oz.
And Alice in Wonderland.
So look at this. Eli Cash is calling me. He knows I'm doing a show right now. Hold on. Eli, you're on the air on Back of the Cereal Box.
Oh, what?
What?
What's going
You-
on? I'm sorry.
Do you know that? Do you remember that I do a live podcast every Saturday morning at 8?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. Am I interrupting? I am sorry.
Listen, I will be there to pick you up between 9:30 and 10.
Okay, I'm just letting you know the power's down here, and if you've been trying to contact me, I am sorry.
I have not, so don't worry about it. I'll pick you up at between 9:30 and 10.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Say hello
Eli,
to the
you
audience.
are awesome.
Eli!
You're a very psychopath, Eli.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with him. You don't know what he's gonna say live, John.
No, I don't. That's why we don't bring him on the show live. He keeps asking, and I'm like, Nope.
Nope.
Not gonna happen. Love ya, but no. So anyway, yes, very heavily influenced by Wizard of Oz, I think, and that whole fantasy, childhood fantasy genre. And I do love that, you know, all of the hats are puppets. And so these puppets didn't bother you?
Some of them did. Like the little guy in the far right here. She, whatever it is.
The
kinda
cowboy
bothered.
hat?
He just needs a good wax job.
Yeah.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. So that kind of bothered me. The rest of them don't. It's more when they try to look real that I don't know. Most of them didn't. I don't. I mean, yeah. Yeah, the cowboy hat bugged me. Yeah.
Yeah, they all bugged me. They all kind of creep me out. Now, I will tell you that as a kid, I wanted nothing more than to have Horatio Hoodoo's flying saucer top hat. You know, he flew around in the top hat with the joystick controller. That was awesome. That's what I want that. They need to make an action figure, an accessory playset with that.
That would be actually pretty cool.
So we do have some trivia on this. So Willow, I'll start, and this is funny. Wait, what did I miss? Huh?
She has no poker face whatsoever.
No.
Zero.
I don't know what's going on. All right,
we're making perverted jokes over here.
Okay, well, stop it. This is an all ages show, D.
She did it. I'm just laughing.
The role of Weenie Genie was originally slated to be played by pint-sized actor Billy Bartee. As production neared, Bartee became ill and was unable to appear, so the creators asked Bille Hayes to take the part. Dee, you probably don't know who Billy Bartee is, do you?
I don't, but I'm like totally freaking out right now because everybody calls me Bartee, and I'm like, no, my name is Bartee, like Bartee all the time. And so when you said Bartee, I kind of went.
Billy Bartee was a dwarf actor. He actually played one of the characters in the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie, but he was famous in the 70s. He appeared as a dwarf wizard or evil dwarf, or and Cheryl, you'll remember he had that weird, one eye was bigger like Mad Eye Moody and the other one was squinted up. He was kind of like Popeye, but he was a dwarf. And great actor though, phenomenal character actor, and beloved by everyone. And he was going to play Weenie Genie, but because he got sick, Bille Hayes got the role, and because she did such a phenomenal job as Witchy Poo, it was just a natural choice. So, next piece of trivia, Willow.
Charles Nelson Reiliy reportedly hated working on the show and was dismayed later in life when most people who met him would only remember him for the show.
Aww.
Which is so funny to me because he was brilliant. The reason people remember him for this show is because it was his best work. It was his absolute best work. And, that's sad that, being remembered for your best work, like, makes you not happy.
Yeah.
That's kind of like most of the Star Wars actors, where they've done other things, but a lot of people just remember them for their Star Wars roles.
Yeah.
And which I think kind of turned off several other actors that came on to play Star Wars characters later on. They didn't want to be known as just their Star Wars character. Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, anyway. I mean, look, I go through a similar thing because, for 20 years I played a magic character, Big Daddy Cool, And I've been trying to get away from that, but still people, that's all they remember me for. That's all they know me for. And I'm like, no, I'm doing something else now. So I get it. But anyway.
That's what I met you as. I still call you that.
I know. There might be room for some, I don't know. Anyway, so dialogue from this show can be heard in the Marilyn Manson song Dope Hat. That horrifies me.
Interesting. I don't listen to Marilyn Manson's music.
Neither do I. Do you, D?
Periodically. But I listen to everything. So there's like nothing I don't listen to.
All right.
I'm selective though. Cheryl's like, I'm out. Good to go.
I already mentioned that the opening sequence with the magic show was filmed at Six Flags Over Texas. And Charles Nelson Reiliy, who played Horatio Hoodoo, also played the magician in that opening sequence. And his name was revealed by the signs to be Merlot, the magician. Not Merlot, D. Merlot.
It's a wine, isn't it? Merlot.
Yep. So, Willow, what about some of the costume characters?
I'm hoping I'm saying this right. Hermione's midgets? Okay. Also played several of the costume characters.
So, listen, that was what they were called. We are not being politically incorrect. That was the name of their troupe, Hermione's Midgets. That was an acceptable term in the 70s. And apparently they appeared in other films, and, they were like contract ensemble players. So, yeah. And as I already mentioned, the part of Mark was played by Butch Patrick, who also played Eddie Munster in The Munsters. And Willow, what about merchandise on this show?
The show wasn't as heavily merchandised as earlier, and later Sid and Marty Krofft Productions tie-ins included Halloween costumes, Hoodoo, Weenie, and Evil Hat Mr. Big, a lunchbox, a comic book series, a magic slate, and a coloring activity book.
I'm reading some of the comments, D.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so very little merchandise was produced for this show. And what's amazing to me is HR Pufnstuf was merchandised to the max. And when we were preparing for this show, I talk to people all of the time who remember Lidsville, but they don't remember HR Pufnstuf or some of the other Krofft Brothers shows. And, I was like, Lidsville? What is Lidsville? Because I don't remember watching this show as a kid. But apparently, this was the longest running Krofft Superstar show, but the least merchandised. They did not make toys and apparel the way they did for others. And there were never any action figures made. And I think that that's a real shame, because Weenie Genie and Horatio Hoodoo are like begging to be turned into action figures.
I agree.
Now,
The flying hat would be an awesome little toy car thing that would roll across tables.
yes.
A McDonald's toy or a Burger King toy. That would be awesome.
Yes, it would. It would. Oh my gosh, there's so many great comments there. So I'm going to try to get through them. So we have Teresa Lott Katz joining us. I watched Lidsville every Saturday. And Molly Daniels says, as an adult, you have to be drinking martinis in order to watch Lidsville. So, Dee, now that you are all warm and tingly inside from the martini, you can go watch this with whole different light. You'll probably enjoy it far more.
You're probably right. I'll probably laugh my way through it.
I doubt it.
No, Cheryl's like, don't do it, girl.
Maybe after,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Maybe after one more, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Then you can sleep through it.
Well, the issue is, I was like, what is in this thing? Why am I getting hot? Oh, vodka makes me hot, which makes yeah. Anyway, there's vodka.
Wait, I thought it was tequila. No, never mind. I'm not going to sing that song.
No, vodka does it to me.
Attention, men of Nerdy Graw.
Don't drink me vodka.
Teresa Lott Katz.
Logic in a can.
Teresa Lott Katz also says the John Wayne cowboy hat was the best. See, that one creeps me out. I'm like, I can't get into it. But Dave Mattingly does say, John and I growing up with Lidsville partly explains our personality quirks. Definitely. Yeah, Twix hadn't been invented yet. I knew that. So, D, Dave Mattingly says Dr. Shrinker has a much catchier theme song. We're going to be talking about Dr. Shrinker in 2 weeks because we're going to do an episode on the Sid and Marty Krofft Saturday Super Show, which included Dr. Shrinker. And and it also included the Bugaloos, which was as trippy as Lidsville. And, oh, there's a comment coming for you, D.
I'm trying not to say anything.
And Andrew Milden says about Billy Bartee playing Weenie Genie, a pint-sized weenie?
Oh my
Genie.
God.
Oh, no.
And you're upset with our comments?
This morning, you guys are killing me. You're killing me.
A pint-sized weenie genie.
You're gonna have to re-rate this show and just let me be me, John.
We're gonna have to be on later.
That's right. I need to be on your show, Willow.
Dave says, Bartee all the time, Bartee all the time, Bartee all the time. Our girl wants to party all the time. Party. He just substituted. D, you looked confused by that.
I am.
Yeah.
Right. But that's good.
She's young.
I like it.
I get it. I'm old.
Yeah.
No,
And Andrew Milden piling
I know
on.
this one.
You gotta fight for the right to Bartee.
Like it. But sing that for me this weekend, Drew.
Billy Bartee was one of my favorite actors. I loved him, says Teresa Lott Katz. Yes, he was fantastic. And, Molly Daniels, speaking about Charles Nelson Reiliy, loved him on the Match Game. See, Charles Nelson Reiliy was most commonly remembered for being a celebrity on celebrity game shows. And he was on Match Game. He was also on Joker's Wild. He was a judge on The Gong Show. But his best work was Horatio Hoodoo.
You say the Bong Show. The Gong Show.
Gong Show. D, have you ever seen The Gong Show?
She's too young.
Oh my God, D.
You know, it's hurting my feelings.
You need to go watch The Gong Show.
Someone doesn't have the game show network.
Just to watch Mean Gene, the dancing machine, and the unknown comic. You know what? That's what all I want to do after this is go watch The Gong Show now.